Hi, everyone, and welcome to Light a Joint with Ida. I am Ida Pearl Lee, and I have with me Nicole Webster.
Hi,
How are you doing, Nicole?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Yes. So, oh my goodness, it's been a minute since I've seen you,
Yes, it has.
and this is a little bit of a touchy topic, but it was at Bella's memorial service.
Yep, most definitely.
Yeah, so it driving here was really challenging for me.
Yep,
I did have to stop over or pull over and cry before I got here.
I hear ya.
And thank you for holding me and giving me a safe space once I got here, to release what I needed to.
Always love and snuggles. 1P36 style, always.
Oh, so I'm super excited to do this podcast today. Nicole is a really dear friend of mine. I feel like we are tied. We have a soul connection.
Yes, we do.
And that's never going to go away.
No, it won't. Like I said, it's 1P36 style. We will always be together.
Yes. Yeah. So we met, oh goodness, how many years ago?
Like what, 5, 6, if not longer?
I think it's been longer than that. So
Okay.
Bella's passed, she in 19. What year was your first conference? Do you remember?
I think we've been to like 6 of them. Our first one was in San Antonio, and I was it 2013 for San Antonio,
I
possibly?
believe so. So that's where I first met you then.
Okay.
Because Sherry and Bo, and I can't remember who else helped with that, but they maybe it was just them. I don't know, but they hosted the conference that year.
Okay.
And I was able to fly out there. I was guest with Sherry and Bo and stayed with them, and it was really hard for me because
Yep.
I went without Bella.
Yep.
But it was really eye-opening at the same time.
Very much so, because like all the other 1P36 families, you have this beautiful, amazing kiddo that are not reaching where they should be. And then you have the what's going on, why type thing. And then you try to fight for services and fight to learn anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Lily, she was born in 2008. And then we just noticed after the first couple months, she wasn't reaching where she needed to. She's getting far behind. She's not sitting up. And now she's a year old and she's still not sitting up. And I'm trying to push locally. And there's not a lot of services, or there wasn't when we lived in Saginaw. There wasn't a lot of services or things that we could really do.
Right.
So we're trying to find a doctor. We're trying to push, like, what is going on? Is it something specific? And then she would pass her tests that were simple, and we had to keep fighting for it. And then we finally got in contact with a doctor from Detroit, and he requested a microarray fish test that pulled back that she had 1P36 and that she was missing that part of her chromosomes, which is completely new because you never realized you could completely have like chromosomes erased type thing. And then it's something back then, because it was 2000, I want to say 10 or 11, when she was about 3, that we finally got that information. Okay. And we're like, now what do we do? Because in medical books, there's like a paragraph. Like, you don't know anything about it. Like, how do you even
and the information
figure it
dire.
Out? Exactly. And they don't give you any specific information. It's just like, most likely your kiddo will not make it this far, or they're never going to potty train. They're never going to walk or talk. And that's such a hard diagnosis for anybody. And you're like, what do we do?
Right.
I have no idea. And it really broke me. It really hurt me, because you immediately think, well, what did I do? Could I have done something wrong? Did I drink something wrong? Did I eat something wrong? Right. Especially with all of the people jumping to different plans and things nowadays with like keto and low carb and all these different things. People are like saying sugar is a cause of cancer and issues, or nope, acetaminophen causes autism, like all these random things that are being thrown out there. So you always wonder what happened. And it really broke me. Like, I was crying. I was really upset. How can I do anything to help her? And I went to sleep one night and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to be a different person. I'm not going to let this take us down.
Good.
And I woke up and I started researching and trying to find anything I could for any information, any services, any hospitals that specialize in this stuff, what our insurance would cover, what it wouldn't. And I fought hard for a while, and then I came across the 1P36 page.
Wow.
And then you find these families that are all over the world, and it doesn't make you feel as rare and alone anymore. And we saw the first conference to be able to go to, and saved up money and tried so much to go. And we went down there, and then you walk into this room that has so many families, and it's just breathtaking. You don't know what to do or how to talk to people.
Yes.
It's very overwhelming.
Yes.
And then you have, it's just, I don't know if it's just in your blood or how you were raised or something, but you walk in there and you're like, oh my goodness, so I have to help her, I have to do this. And then people are like, oh no, go grab a drink, we've got you, we'll watch her. And I'm like, but
they will actually take your child from you
physically
and tell you to go.
Definitely.
Go
and
do
I'm
your
like,
thing.
What do I do? Oh my goodness. Like trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And taking a break for your kid never happens. You don't have a break. You don't have respite type stuff that you can find. So we're in there and we're shocked and seeing this giant group of people and so much love and kindness. And then you start to look around like, is there anybody near me? And then I meet you, and you're in Michigan, and there is, I want to say, like 6 or 7 other families that we're aware of.
Right.
Like this last year, going to the conference, and you hear them because they put the pictures of the kiddos up, and you get to see them, and it pops up Michigan, and you're like, where are you, Michigan? I need to find you.
Right.
And it's just so amazing and incredible to see that you're not alone. That you have so many kiddos that they have the same laugh, and they have the same leg cross, and they have the same stim and all that fun stuff. And Fisher-Price, I swear we all own like a quarter of the company with all of the Fisher-Price toys that we buy for our kiddos.
It's crazy. Yes,
lights
we need stock in that company.
Yes, most definitely.
Oh my goodness. Yes. You know, it's really interesting too, because the conferences bring all of us together for a very short amount of time.
Yep.
And when families leave, when you leave, you're actually depressed.
Yep. Because we are family.
Yes.
By blood or by not.
Yes.
Like we are legitimately families when you have kids from all over the world that are the same. They have the same facial features. A lot of them do the same stimming and the different things, like I said. And it's insane that we've never met all these families from everywhere. But once we get together, we all just know. We have that feeling.
Right. It is pretty special.
Yes, incredibly.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Bear with me here. Whew. We're going to get through this.
Yes, we are. I'm so happy to see you again. We haven't seen each other in a while with our lives and schedules and everything changing.
I know.
But like I said, we are family no matter what.
Thank you for that.
Always.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So did you grow up in Michigan, Nicole? I'm going to go ahead and roll a joint. Okay. Are you going to smoke with me?
Yes, please.
All right. Now, because I want to come back and talk about this, but because I did just ask you a question. So go ahead and tell me where you grew up.
Okay.
And a little bit about your background and how you were raised. And I'm going to roll a joint while you're doing that.
Okay.
Okay.
I grew up in Saginaw in the state of Michigan, and I lived there for the majority of my life. Most of it, like 95% of it. We were in Saginaw, and Saginaw does not have a lot of resources. So with that, with her being born, we did not have a lot of options there. She was abused in her school that we were at from the only access that we had.
How old was she?
It was about 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
So she was about 8 or 9.
Okay.
And we're still trying to find things to help her and all that stuff. And then at that point, I was hit with cancer as well. So you're trying to figure out how to survive because it's brain cancer, and there's a 0.1% survival rate.
Wow.
Just like 1P36ers, they struggle greatly, and a lot of them have issues with their health that can take them and stuff like heart issues or liver or seizures, a variety of stuff. So when you're hit with being a single parent and being by yourself, trying to survive, and then you lose the ability to work, you lose the ability to do anything you normally would. And then you immediately feel like you're a lazy, bad parent, not doing anything because you can't get up and run and drive and do all of these things.
Yes.
That's how you feel when you're going through chemo and radiation and just physically exhausted and struggling with memory with the radiation and the 2 brain surgeries physically taking part of my brain out.
Wow.
I had to relearn how to walk and talk and do all of these different things. which in a way made me so much more closer to our family, our group, everything, because you get what it's like to try to yell or talk and it's just not there. And the kiddos get so frustrated and upset for being nonverbal or struggling just to get a word out like, Mom, I want to have something to eat. And you can't say it and the words get messed up and you get so mad. You want to communicate, but you can't. And I totally understand how that feels. Or going to walk and falling down because my body doesn't want to work like it's supposed to because the brain is mad. And all of these different things, it completely changed my outlook for our kiddos. But growing up in Saginaw, I have wonderful parents that didn't understand at first what it's like, which I'm sure a lot of people don't, because you have a group of friends, family, etc., that when you get a diagnosis like that, they don't know what to say. And we don't know what to say in general. So they tried to support as best as possible. And we worked on our communication skills, which are a lot better now on a regular basis. Like at least once a week, I see my family and we have like a dinner together and they are amazing. They are like my special respite, like my brother or my parents, to give me a little bit of a break, to be able to go out for a drink with friends or to be able to go to a movie or literally just lay in a tub and have a glass of wine and not care about the world for like an hour. Because we need a break.
So I do want to talk about a little bit about what we go through with special needs parents, because generally the average family, the average mom, the average dad has no clue. No clue. It's not the traditional, you raise a child, they hit all their milestones, they're in school, you know, the mom possibly goes back to work. You know, there's family vacations, there's sports, you're transitioning, you're moving along through life.
Just food in general. Food or toys or all these different things, clothes even, adaptive equipment, like all of these different things you don't think about when you're like a neurotypical parent with neurotypical kids. You don't realize.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. You just don't realize what it's like. They have no idea. And then you get the typical, oh, bless you, or I don't know how you do it, those types of things. And I see the support in a way, but it also is kind of frustrating. Like, you have no idea. Like, you really don't. Just a typical day. When she was younger, it was a little bit different because she was nonverbal and it was a lot harder for her because she's now verbal. Like 90% of people understand her. When she gets overwhelmed, it's harder to explain.
And how old is Lily today?
She's 14 now.
Okay.
In general, it was harder when she was younger. Like I said, with her being nonverbal and being able to get through and discuss things and stuff like that. She's gotten better with age and being more verbal now. But just trying to get her up in the morning or trying to get her dressed because she needs help with everything. Still at 14, she needs help getting dressed. She needs help brushing her hair, keeping her on plan. She has to stay on a topic because she gets very distracted very easily. She has to have a lot of medicine. And we have to do that in stages throughout the day, or all the surgeries we've gone through, the hospital visits, because she was just in the hospital again a couple weeks ago for not being able to use the bathroom property.
Oh my goodness. So what does she have going on?
Her tummy is not working like it should. It's not processing food and letting her go to the bathroom. She gets constipated for like 14 days, despite Miralax and Senecote and Colace and like the Go Lightly and everything over the counter that you can give her, and by prescription, nothing helps. So she ends up in the hospital to clean out her system. And sadly, we don't have a doctor that we can rely upon. So the doctors just put her in, give her Go Lightly to clean her system out and send them home. Like, we don't have options for a lot of things, or considering motility testing or all of this different stuff, which is another thing. She has to have special treatments. She has to have therapy of PT, OT, speech, ABA to practice how to live life. Like something as simple as opening up a popsicle and eating it for like a snack. You don't see how complicated and hard it is. But for us, it's so difficult. But when our kiddos do something so simple, we just praise and thank you, Lord, for everything. Just something so simple of putting a sock on, putting a shoe on, not having a meltdown from getting up in the morning to get on the school bus. Simple stuff is so difficult. And people have no idea. They don't even realize it.
Right. Yeah, it's exhausting.
Very much so.
It's lonely.
Yep.
There's nobody that you can call to say, hey, I need a 5-minute break.
Yep.
I need a 10-minute break.
Or if you do get a 5 or 10-minute break because somebody's trying to help, you have to walk back in. Nope, you have to do it this way. They have a specific process, or they'll have a meltdown. Or if you can't get them the meds the right way, or you have to call and fight with the insurance to cover it, or all of these other things people don't realize. So when you get a break, you don't even get a break because you still have to assist other people,
Right.
unless you live 24/7 in it and really truly know what it's like. And it causes a lot of depression.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, because my emotions, I've worked hard on them because I want to have a calm voice and a calm body. Like I tell Lily all the time, so she doesn't have meltdowns and get aggressive. Yeah. I try to do the same thing and set a good example to her. Mm-hmm. And I see the negativity that's created from that, because I get very negative toward myself for being like an arguing mom or not being kind enough. Like I feel like the rest of the 1P36 community is like calm, nice with their kiddos. But then I see it and I'm like, okay, I'm not that lone mom. You're yelling at your kid. Yay!
Yes. Yep.
Type thing. So,
well, and it's really to understand you're not alone.
Exactly.
Even though it feels like you're alone.
Yep.
You're really not alone. It's just, it's finding those resources.
Yep.
To be able to reach out and find the tribe that you need.
And even
in those
with
times.
that, even with finding the tribe, at least I do. I don't know if you do, but I feel like I'm going to bug them, even though they know exactly what it is and they go through the same thing. I feel like if I message them or try to call, I'm going to bother them. So I don't want to do it.
Oh, honey.
So I don't.
No, honey, you got to change your mindset on that, because that's why we're all here.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I know do you want to smoke that?
Sure.
I know I'm not that active, in the group as much, but I get tagged a lot. And so that's, I'll respond just to your comfort level. Okay.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Goodness. That's
why we give you air hugs all the time, because I love to see you.
But that's why we're all there. Yeah. So
you have inspired me, and I've looked up to you for many, many years since I met you, for everything you do, how much you advocate. I try to do the same thing now, finding more resources locally and talking to people and not being afraid to say who I am and what's going on, to help break the boundaries, break the steps of keeping it quiet and people judging you. I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. Like Lily says, put the foot down. The foot is down. Inside out. Most definitely. I will put my foot down in a second to support and advocate for anybody else that's gone through cancer, that goes through special needs, that's gone through violence of any kind. I try to share the word and help with anybody I can.
Right. And those of us, who are tepid and don't stand up, you are an inspiration to those moms and to those dads as well. So thank you for what you do.
And you show them in a way it's okay to stand up. It's okay to not let anybody else break you down.
Right.
You keep fighting and you will understand one day. And then the littlest thing, like us talking today, somebody else could see it and then I can do that too. I need to stand up, and it changes people's worlds by opening and helping and advocating for others.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Nicole.
Thank you. I try.
So I want to go back to do you want to smoke some more?
Sure.
How you were raised. What was your family's stance on cannabis? What was your stance, growing up? How did you feel about it?
When I was growing up, it was still like illegal.
Oh
and
yes.
It's no, you can't do that. It's frowned upon, like cocaine or drugs and all this crazy stuff. And being around a bad situation, my parents are not by any means, but growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. We weren't in the nice house, the nice clothes, like you get judged in school.
Right.
So I was quiet and I was like a band player and a choir nerd and stuff. So I wasn't popular. And then I just started hanging out with different people that would talk to me and accept me, because I didn't realize at that time to stand up for myself and set a good example instead of letting other people break me down for what they want. So I ended up hanging out with a variety of people. And at the time, like I said, it was negative, but they smoked. And I would do it on occasion. And just in general, my parents were like, you can't do that. It's not safe. It's not good. All that type of stuff. So I kind of backed away from it a little bit. But I still would do it on occasion with friends. And then growing up, with the way that people were smoking at the time, it was I guess, into my dark days.
Okay.
Because I would hang out with people that were doing other types of stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
And in different housing situations or different parent situations, or just violence in general, with
Mm-hmm.
like knives and guns, and getting myself into a bad section of town,
Mm-hmm.
a bad way. With that, I was hanging out with a bad group of people when I was 18 and 19 and stuff. And that's when I was approached by a man, which I'm not going to release his name, but I was approached by a man with the group of people I was hanging out with. And I thought it was so cool. And he invited us in. And then he ended up trapping me and telling me if I didn't leave with him, that he would murder my family and
Oh
all
my
these different things.
goodness.
So I followed him and I went with him because I didn't want my family to get harmed or hurt. And I didn't know, being that young, that he was just saying it because in general. So I left and I did what he asked. And then I ended up getting raped and pregnant with Lily.
Sweetheart.
And just ended up staying with him for several months as he beat me constantly. The last time that it happened was November 13th of 2007. And he had beat me and said very inappropriate things and really, really physically messed me up, mentally messing me up, for, I want to say, like 10 hours.
Oh,
Back
honey.
and forth. He was like throwing knives at me and threatening to cut the baby out of me and all these very, very, very dark things. And then would hit me, rip my clothes, shove me around. And then he did drugs as well. And he laid down to sleep. And I tried finding a phone, and he had already broken mine in pieces, because he used to make me call my parents and say
To do
different,
check-ins.
to
Yeah.
make it sound like I was fine when I wasn't, like telling me what I had to say, how I had to say it,
Oh my goodness.
everything. And again, I didn't know what I wasn't supposed to without being beaten again, so I followed. And then after a while of abuse, you just kind of get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't, but it's what your body does. You just kind of like, okay, here it goes
This
again.
is my situation.
Yep. And then I'll go back to doing what I was doing and picking up and cleaning things and following rules and stuff like that. And then he'd beaten me up, and then I tried to find the phone, and I was able to like go down the stairs and get out, and I started trying to leave, and apparently he heard me because he got in the truck, and then he ended up driving after me trying to hit me, and then he ended up grabbing me and bringing me back inside. And then I went again upstairs, and then he started beating me more for a while and threatening me and different things. And then he ended up actually passing out that time. And I was able to get out and get downstairs and then call the police that came and picked him up. And him walking down the stairs and looking at me with a smile on his face, like, you can't stop me, will never leave me ever. Like, that is stuck. But now, with how much I've changed in the 14 years, I am like standing up with my chest held high. I have a special needs kiddo. I have survived brain cancer twice. You will not do anything to stop me, ever. And I want everybody to feel like that. Like, you can't let anybody control you. You have the right to stand up and be strong and stand up against those men or women or anybody. Don't let your children go through it, because nothing will stop you. You can survive all of it, but you have to try. So I went through that, and then he was taken away, and he ended up coming after me a couple more times. But at that point, with going through stuff and then having a child that was diagnosed with special needs, and at the time you didn't know if it was caused by like abuse, so that also hurt me.
Right.
Until we got the blood work, and they said because she's a de novo, it literally is like a sign from God, just giving that to you, because there was no genetics that proved that we carried it to provide it, type thing.
Right.
But with that, with Lily growing older, he contacted me once before, calling in like a restricted number, saying like, I like the purple shirt with the blue jeans you're wearing today, and then would hang up the phone.
Oh my goodness.
Which was incredibly scary. So
Yes.
I ended up calling back the like prosecutors and attorneys and stuff that went through it the first time, and they walked me through how to prevent this from happening, and then to call like the local state police, FBI connections in Bay City.
Okay.
So I ended up doing that, and they were able to track him, and that he was doing the same thing to somebody else as well. So we ended up going to court again. And he tried saying, like, I'm such a good person and I want this family and everything to be perfect with who I'm with. And she's crazy and she is an alcoholic, blah, 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 trying to get everything against me.
Right.
And the person that was trying to charge him again, he was the same person, the same judge as the first time. And I was hoping and praying that he would really see what this man could do. And then they ended up putting him in jail again. And he was supposed to have a, what's it called? Like a limit of time that he had to follow it for being in jail. And then afterwards, like that
like
time.
Probation?
Probation to follow through with everything. And then he ended up getting out, I want to say like a year and a half later, instead of for as long as they diagnosed him, because as long as they put him in there. But he ended up going out and being out for a while. And then I randomly ended up getting like emails.
Oh my goodness.
And it was from somebody else and it was hidden, but it was still somehow I felt like it was connected to him, because why would somebody message me and say those things? So I contacted them again. And again, he had already done something against somebody else and he had gone back to jail again for some other reason.
Wow.
And I haven't heard since then if he's gotten out, if he's not. But after all of those years coming back, it's been insane. But again, I won't let anything stop me.
Good for you for standing your ground and for standing up to that fucker.
I try to as best as possible. And when other people have discussed, or I see people are really hurting and I feel like there's an issue, I try to reach out. Please contact me, share what's going on, stand up for this. I can help you if you're afraid or you don't know what to say or you think he's going to come back. I have different resources I can share. We can talk to people. I will stand up for you because I know how hard it is to fight. And I try to help any way I can.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Always, as much as I can share, like I said, just to try to open somebody else's eyes or try to stand up for themselves or call for help, because you always feel scared and afraid and all that stuff. But
I'm so proud of you and for you, for who you've become.
Thank you.
And for finding your voice. Yeah. Because I know it's not easy. And I feel like we're like clawing yourself tooth and nail. Like, you know, you dug yourself out of your hole, and congratulations on that.
I've tried to with everything. I truly, truly praise the Lord because of everything. When that happens at a younger age, and then you have a child with special needs and you have no idea what to do with it.
Absolutely.
And then you fight for her through so many different things and doctor's appointments and hospital stays and trying to figure out or try to raise awareness and help and find connections to not feel so alone, like we said. And then I get diagnosed with cancer and I'm like, what is going on?
Wow.
Seriously, Lord, where are you leading me?
Wow.
And it hurt for a while to figure out, how was this like a punishment from me, like from everything? What do I do? And it was very, very, very hard. But then I got through my first brain surgery, and then I had to relearn everything, like it said. And then I had a second brain surgery, and I'm like, oh.
So let's back up just a little bit. During the first brain surgery, when you had to relearn everything, what physically did that look like? Because again, you have Lily, you're single. She is total needs.
Yep.
And what that, I don't think people understand what that means either. Total needs means that you are literally taking care of them 24/7.
Yep.
It's nonstop.
Yep.
Nonstop.
Yep. And it's like you can't leave them alone for like 2 seconds. Like you can't
even go to the bathroom.
See? There you go. Yep. Anything, because Lily likes to dart now too. So I have to have the security system on.
Oh my
She's
goodness.
getting a lot better with it. But just randomly sometimes she sees something outside, or she wants to go, or she sees a car go by or something. And then she immediately goes. And I'm like, where are you? What's going on? And trying to, if I'm in the kitchen and it's right into the living room that you can see, but for 2 seconds, if I'm going to grab something and come back, she can be gone. And it's crazy.
Wow.
It's a lot of work.
Yes.
But I should be a lot thinner than I am right now for chasing this child
Again,
everywhere.
give yourself credit because you are succeeding in life. You are thriving.
I am trying to.
Yes, ma'am. You're doing an awesome job at it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So how hard was that for you after your first brain surgery? If you don't mind my asking.
It's hard to explain. You go from a neurotypical person, parent, like gone through like college, and I'm already being like an awesome special needs mom.
Your life is on
through
track.
all of that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
I mean, I had just graduated from college that I tried to do for so long because having a special kiddo and doing anything else
Wow, you went to
seems
college
to be
too?
impossible. Yes, I was working as a waitress back and forth at different places, still trying to work with Lily by taking her into school, or if she had therapies, because sometimes she did, and then we had to stop for insurance reasons or whatever else. But yes, trying to work and then going to school full time, and then trying to be a mom and baking cakes on occasion, all this different stuff, trying to do all of those things felt impossible. Like I honestly think I slept for like 3 hours a night, like every night of that.
Right.
And then trying to study and complete a bachelor's in business. It was a lot. And I still did it. And I was so happy and thrilled that I walked down that, like across that stage, being awarded like a bachelor's degree on top of everything else. I am like, thank you.
Absolutely.
Woo.
Absolutely.
And then I got a phenomenal corporate position, doing well for a month and a half. And then I ended up passing out and having a small seizure.
Oh
and
goodness.
I went to the hospital, and our local hospital did an MRI and a CT scan and found the brain cancer. But they are a smaller hospital and don't have a lot of the same resources.
Right.
So they had diagnosed me with grade 4 glioblastoma. And that is a very difficult one that has a very poor survival rate and a lot of times non-operable and all of that. I've had a couple friends that have passed from that, from meeting in like a resource group like we did with 1P36.
Right.
But that's what they gave me. And I asked if I could have a second opinion, and they said no. And then they discharged me. And I was very upset with that.
Okay.
So I had to fight for about another month and a half, 2 months to get into U of M, which was known by a lot of our 1P36 families in our area, or just in general. It's a major hospital. It has a lot more resources and options.
Right.
So I fought to get in there, and I was able to tell them this is the diagnosis that I was given, which would increase the process for being supposedly grade 4, the worst type thing. So I was able to get in pretty quickly. And then they did another MRI and different testing and stuff. And then it came back that there was a spot, but I had the option of doing a biopsy, or I had the option of doing the cancer removal if possible. So I chose, thinking about it, you'd have to take a small piece out to do a biopsy anyway. So why not just take the whole thing out, and then they can check afterwards.
Right.
So they ended up doing that. And on September 8th of 2016, it was my first brain surgery. I was terrified because literally taking part of your brain out, and it's called an awake craniotomy. It's a 12-hour surgery, and I'm physically awake while they're taking my brain out.
You're awake the whole time? Do they keep you awake?
Not the entire time. I mean, technically I am, but it's kind of like the same medicine that they give you for like a colonoscopy, or they give some of our kiddos when they have to have certain procedures.
The anesthesia.
Anesthesia of where I am awake, but not awake to realize and stuff. And then they can give me like less or whatever, and it makes me awake again, where I can talk like it's normal, and then it kind of like lays you back down to sleep, but you're not sleeping.
Oh, interesting.
It's very interesting, the medicine.
Yeah.
And they ended up doing that, so they would wake me up while they're actually in, after they opened everything, all of that, when they're right where the location is. And you have a speech pathologist that's sitting next to you that has like a book of pictures of like house, key, tree, colors, numbers, all that stuff. And then they flip it back and forth, and it's very interesting. Like, I know it kind of sounds a little bit nerdy or something, but it makes me really, I guess, happy to see this different stuff. It's so much fun. to look at from a medical standpoint, because they're showing me these pictures, and what you do is you have to say what they are.
Oh.
But if you end up messing up or not knowing what they are, they'll try it a couple times, and then if you're still incorrect or you make different like facial abnormalities or something, they know that they're touching the wrong spot, and then they can't remove that part of the cancer. So it stays in, because other doctors that have done like the regular craniotomies or stuff, if they just remove the entire part, they can damage the brain. They can cause special needs.
Wow.
They can take the life that way.
Wow.
So University of Michigan is so brilliant with that.
Wow.
And Dr. Heth, which I love so much, was my surgeon twice for both surgeries. And it has not destroyed everything. Like I do have like some speech issues with getting stuck on what I want to say, and like messing my words up. Like if I go to say ball and I'll say cat, and I'm like, nope, that's the wrong one. It's not the thing that meows, it's the round thing. Like I have to describe it before it comes back up.
Okay.
But it's amazing that I've gone through everything, and I'm not severely disabled or anything. But I did have a lot of problems when we first started the first surgery for 12 hours, removing like 90% of the area, which was the left temporal. For the cancer. They did pretty well, but it was the first time. It was a lot of trauma. It was a lot of stuff, and I didn't do the best. And then going from neurotypical to that aspect of missing brain tissue, that's when it started, where I had to learn how to do all the different stuff again, or I would go to like walk. Like I was living at my mom's house after that because I needed someone to help me and Lily, most definitely.
Oh my gosh.
So my mom would literally, it's like being Lily.
Yeah.
My mom would go downstairs to help with laundry, and I would get up because I can't remember anything. I have like Dory's memory from Finding Nemo.
Oh.
And I go like, I need to go to the bathroom, and then I'll get up and I'm like, what did I need to do? And then I had to do it again. And I would trip and I would fall. I hit my head on the ground before, like a week after I got out of my surgery, because my brother was a lot younger and he was sitting there playing like video games.
Right.
And I get up, he's like, Mom, she got up. And then I fall down.
Oh, no.
He's like, she fell. And my mom comes like running type thing.
No.
Yes. But I had so much help from my mom to get me through all this different stuff. And the same thing with Lily. Like we have almost like a family road trip. Like me and my mom and Lily, 3 generations of people.
Oh, I love that.
We drive to Ann Arbor for U of M. And then sometimes we've had like the several days of hospital stay, or you're stuck in like the ER because they don't have a room.
Right.
So now you're on the same clothes for 3 days trying to find the closest coffee and walking around and pacing for being drive nuts still in the ER with your special kiddo.
Sweetheart.
And it's so funny. Like we have so many pictures of us wearing, like I've got like Deadpool and she's got some other outfit on, and we're posing in like the hospital room just trying to make something funny as we dance around.
Right.
And then Lily loves certain songs, so we're like jamming it out and going all over the room, and you've got some nurses just looking at you and you're like, nope. Or you've got other ones that are like, you sing it, girl, you've got it. All that stuff. So
that's it. You're in the hospital. It's not your normal routine.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to be there, first of all.
You reach a level of no longer caring in a way.
Exactly.
You just rock it out and celebrate everything. The silliest things can be funny or serious at the same time.
Right.
And then you're sitting there and you randomly start crying. And then you get up and you're like, yep, I've got this. We can do it. And there's so many emotions that you go through in that hospital room or on a regular basis with your kiddos being special. And they're not, I don't even know how to explain it, but they're not, I don't even know. Like it's hard to explain, but I think you totally understand.
I
like,
do understand. It's because I don't want to say typical, because that's not even the right word to use.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's, again, it's their care is based on you.
Yep, exactly.
You are solely responsible.
Yep.
For their life.
Yep.
And again, like the average person doesn't understand. I mean, I was killing myself taking care of Bella.
I understand
literally
that.
killing myself.
I feel like I wear glasses now to hide my eyes because I feel like I have so many bags for being tired all the time and just trying to run around. I feel so sometimes, and it hits me on top of everything else, and trying to be a good partner
Right.
with Jason, and an awesome mom, getting her to the different places and therapies and all that stuff to try to give her more help.
Right,
and then
right.
with the cake orders on the side and all these different things, just doing laundry and cleaning the house and feeding the animals and all of these different things.
Just
I
normal
just
life.
feel exactly
Yeah,
normal life.
yeah.
And I feel so weak. Like I'm so tired and just trying to get through it. And I'm like, I know other moms are perfectly fine and they're all good to go. And it hits me hard. And I just keep trying to tell myself in a positive way, you've got it, girl. You have a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's okay. Right. You can go sit down for 5 minutes. Yes. Don't keep feeling like everything is bad and over and yada, yada. Like you can rock it through it. And I bring myself back up and I'm like, yes, self, thank you.
I love your perseverance.
That's so hard sometimes.
Your tenacity and your perseverance is really what is shining through right now for you.
That's what got me where I am today. I mean, if I was always negative or always mad at the world, how dare you, yada, yada, they have studies showing that if you're negative about it, a lot of times you don't get far and your body gives up. So I have to be positive all the time. And I know with the depression, sometimes I have hard days, but I literally say, this too shall pass. I know it will. A couple days, you will get through it, and time feels like it's going so fast already, so it'll be done quickly, and then you'll be back to like, yeah, awesome, you've got it type person. And that has really helped me too, instead of trying to write or trying painting or all of these different things that are just like a topic to distract you. I mean, it helps, but it doesn't really get me where I want to be. So I just literally like, this too shall pass. We've got it. And like,
well, and again, it's finding out what works for you. Yeah. Because again, you're trying what other people recommend.
Yep.
You know, and it's worked for them. Well, now you got to find what works for you.
Exactly.
And good for you for finding it.
Yep. And this truly helps me a lot too. I really truly feel that it helped. I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
I truly feel like it has helped with everything, with the first surgery and the second surgery and radiation and chemo and all these different things on top of all that stress. I started doing that and my scans have been clear since.
Wow.
No more picture of it spreading, no getting worse, nothing. It's all still there from the open spots of the removals, and just in general, it has been positive since then. And I thank the Lord for that. And that is a healthy option, I feel, because there's different people, like I've said before, that go and just buy it because they want to get high and all these different things. Or there's other groups of people that focus on the medical aspects of it and full treatment and positive effects and results and stuff from it. And that's what I do. I truly believe in the healing aspects and like powers that they do, not powers, but the healing aspects that it does have and what it truly does when you have an issue like cancer. I truly believe it.
Right. Now, you reached out to me first regarding Lily.
Yes.
And what were you looking for at that time? So this was before the brain cancer.
Yes, I believe it was.
Yes. Yep.
I have seen from different families that there is positive results as well from like the oils that they are, whether it's CBD or it's like the THC combination, anything, they have had really positive results for the kiddos if they're really failing to thrive and struggling with life or major seizures or all these different things. It's been shown and that it really, truly, truly helps and it fixes things, and I don't want to say brings back, but it truly helps bring the kiddos up to where they need to be, where they should be, instead of having so many issues with horrible things like seizures that really suck. And I fully well know what it does and how scary it can be living through it.
Right.
And I truly supported it, and I was interested and I wanted to get more information about it. And it was really cool to see. And I really wanted to stand up for that as well, because it, for me in general, just changing things, really making me be back where I am and the cancer is not spreading, like I said, for it, I was interested for Lily.
Right.
Because she has a lot of negative times. She started her cycle when she was 9.
Oh my goodness.
And
oh my goodness.
she was bleeding a lot, considerably, and she was having nosebleeds like a lot of the 1P36 kiddos have. She's having nosebleeds and all of these other problems that seem very odd, and you wonder why. Like Lily, her nose would pour blood out for like 45 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
She is in the bathroom because you have to grab her, and I ran to the bathroom, and this girl is 150 pounds now, and it is so hard on your
And
body.
she's mobile too.
She is, yes.
But she still has limitations.
Yes, very much so.
Right.
And I had to pick her up and run to the bathroom and like put her in the shower because she's bleeding so much. It literally looks like a murder scene. It's so scary.
Yeah.
And you don't know what to do. I mean, you're trying to like think like,
out
is she going to pass out? How do we stop the bleeding? Like, what do I do?
Right.
All that stuff. And then I'm calling like my parents, or I'm calling the doctors, and please walk me through it, anything. And then she normally would go to the hospital and they wouldn't realize about it. Like the local hospitals are smaller. They're like, she's got a temp. Nope. She coughing. Nope. Okay. Well, then she's good. She can go back home. She doesn't seem like she's bleeding after an hour. So bye. And going through that.
Secret. That's because they don't know what to do with her.
Yep.
That's why.
Very much so. Sometimes some doctors are fantastic. Other ones are really like questionable. Like Dr. Heth that did my brain surgery. Like he was a brilliant man to go through the brain like that. And me, I'm still here. Whereas other doctors really have no idea, especially if they don't know what 1P36 is or other stuff.
Right.
So we ended up continuing to have issues. And then starting her cycle, she started like hemorrhaging out where she was going constantly, so many problems. And then trying to do local doctors, nothing. So we ended up going to U of M. And they had a hematologist and an OBGYN come in, and they did a blood test for von Willebrand's disease. Oh. And that is a bleeding disorder.
Oh my goodness.
You have the, what's it called? The hemophilia. You have that one, and this is very similar.
Okay.
And there's different levels. There's like a type 1, a type 2, M and N, and like a type 3.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Type 3 is like severe, kind of like cancer, being very, very severe, and maybe not surviving, stuff like that. M and N, type 2 are more controllable depending on what it is. And you have to have a lot of accommodations for stuff. You have to work on like, either it's taking like certain things, like Lily had to be on Humate-P when she had a surgery because her blood would not stop like it's supposed to.
Right.
So she ended up having to have like infusions and shots for a whole week after the surgery and all of that. But she's a type 1. She's a mild. So a type 2 or a type 3 are a lot more severe. I mean, when she's already a type 1 mild.
You can't even imagine what a severe one is.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
I mean, when she's a mild type 1 and she's pouring blood out for 45 minutes and she's hemorrhaging for like 6 months.
It can't get any worse.
Exactly. And it's terrifying that she has to do these different things. And now she can't have certain meds and all this different stuff, which complicates more things.
Right.
Because then if she's on meds for that, then she has to have heart meds, which cause problems with her liver. So she needs this medicine and go to this and that. Oh. And it's really, really frustrating and complicated. And
you're literally like running in circles sometimes. Like you're chasing your tail like and you're running in circles. It really
does. Sometimes I have to question everything because I already have problems with memory and speech and stuff from the cancer.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, what did I just say? And okay, Lily's medicine has to be on this path and this thing. And then next week it has to change because the doctors changed it because blood pressure issues or blood sugar issues or all these different things. So I'm like, oh, what was that again? Like, all right, write this down. Oh, no, scratch that off.
Right,
like,
right.
It's very hard to remember everything and get it situated. But yeah.
Well, I have memory issues, and it's definitely from the PTSD. So
yep, I understand that as well.
You need to give yourself so much more credit because you are doing beautiful.
I try.
Yes, ma'am. You are rocking it.
Thank you.
So you were open to try it for Lily.
Yes.
And now you're faced with brain cancer.
Yes.
You were open to try it for that as well. Like what led you to wanting to try it for yourself?
I was really curious because it had just been legalized and there was restrictions and stuff, but you could qualify for the medical aspect, which is more doctor-based study type thing than just recreational. I thought, okay, it's legal now and it's for cancer patients and stuff. I could try it and see if it would help, because it's brain cancer. If it doesn't help, it's not like it's going to get any worse because you're already kind of like this. So I'd try
At that
anything to
point,
see if it would
yeah,
save my life.
yeah.
And I did. I went and got the medical card, which at the time it just started, and it had a lot of negative thoughts on it
Mhm.
because it was not a regular doctor that you could walk into for like a PCP. It had to be like a doctor in an office that would just write it and type thing. So
Right,
people were
right.
really offended by that at that time. So it felt like I didn't know if I was doing it the right way and that I was going to offend somebody or whatever.
Mhm.
So I did go and do it because I wanted to try anything, like I said, if it would keep me alive. So I
Right.
did, and I got the medical card. And then I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, again, negative stuff. People will think it's not a good thing to go do, or you're going to
Right.
go to a random store. It's been illegal for so long. Is it okay now? Yada, yada. So I went in and I just asked some questions. And I did a lot of research online, just looking stuff up. And it came back that THC, high doses of THC and or a lower CBD or some type of mixture, whether it was like an indica or sativa or hybrid type thing, they had positive results, especially the oils.
Mhm.
The RSOs types, the oils,
Mhm.
had been proven by different doctors that it helped shrink or cure the cancer,
Wow.
especially
Wow.
with a variety of stuff. There wasn't a lot of information for brain cancer, which there's still not a lot
Yeah.
because it's not a bigger one like breast
Well,
cancer and
there's no
stuff.
studies too either. Yeah.
Exactly. There's a little bit, and people are trying to do just like with 1P36, do stuff, write about it, spread medical news, everything. So I wanted to try it and see what it would do. So I did. And depending on what it is, some of it's a lot stronger than in others and all that stuff. But I started taking it. And then I got my next MRI and there was nothing spreading. It wasn't going
Wow.
anywhere
Wow.
because they had the first brain surgery and the treatments and all that stuff. And then the second one that had came up. And I was going for like the surgery and different things. And I had started it. And then with doing everything and then having the surgery, the doctor called us back like a week later, personally at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, called us back personally to tell us what the results were after the second surgery. And it was non-cancerous. It came back as it was like a radiation injury. So you go through and you have radiation, usually right after a surgery, or if you're not doing a surgery, like right then and there. And you have the chance of in a couple years later it causing like almost like something looks like it's there but then goes back down, which is really weird, but it does something like that. And that's what had happened, where it looks like, and your MRIs and stuff, it almost looks like the same thing.
Wow.
The way that it comes up, and doctors aren't, most of them aren't just going to leave it there, especially if it grows considerably and it like glows and different stuff like it would do for other stuff. And again, I had the option of biopsy or just surgery. So I chose surgery again, like I did the first time. The first time was left temporal, and the second was left frontal. So they've taken out all of this beforehand, like this part of my brain and across and everything.
Oh my goodness.
And the first brain surgery was really interesting because it took a lot of my abilities away and all of that to relearn. And it hurt me for a while, like 5 days in the hospital, not knowing anything.
I can't even imagine.
My mom having
my
to
goodness.
shower me as an adult was very, very awkward. But I'm very thankful that I had that option for her to help me, because she's gone that far to help me and with my daughter and stuff with her stuff. But I'm at that point where I'm hurt that bad and need help. And then the second surgery, I was terrified to go in again for another brain surgery. So I'm walking out of the hotel that I had to stay in with my parents the night beforehand, and it's hitting me and I'm getting so emotional, but I'm trying so hard not to cry and show weakness. So I literally like took a deep breath and held my head up high and walked into that surgery. And it came back like I'm done going out of the surgery, which ended up being I want to say like 6 or 8 hours or something, not as long. And I'm being pushed out of the surgery, and I'm joking with the doctors at this point.
Wow.
I'm not even in recovery. I'm not in anything yet, but I'm already joking. And I'm like, you know what? This is better.
Incredible.
Maybe they messed up and added brain back. So now it's growing. So like the third time will be the charm and my brain will be back or something.
Oh,
Joking
so
like that. And I went back through it. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, thank you, Lord, for this. And maybe this stuff is helping.
Right.
And then I got out, and then I was doing the oils on like a regular basis. And then they came out with like the Stizzy pens and different things. And I've been doing that. And every scan, every MRI has not grown. My last surgery was 2018, and it is now 2022. Girl, I just hit
That's
6
awesome.
years
That's awesome.
from the original. In 2016 was my first, and it's 2022 and I am still here, and there's no spreading, there's no nothing, and I am here with my daughter being 14 years old now. She's her first 9th grade, first homecoming.
That's
she
so
just
cute.
did.
That's so cute. I'm so
she
happy
has a
for
little
her.
boyfriend. He's so incredibly sweet.
Aww.
And he has special needs as well.
Right.
And they connect so well together because he's a little bit more advanced than she is.
Yeah.
And then he'll walk her through different stuff. He'll help put her shoes
that's
on.
So sweet. Oh, I love that.
All of those different things. They're connected like the movie, The Other Sister. If you've ever saw that, it's Juliette Lewis.
Yes.
That type where they're both special needs and they grow up to like move into an apartment. Like this is what I see with her and her little boyfriend. I hope and pray for that. I really hope that continues where she grows up and she has that support.
Yes.
She has a lot of little friends around here from moving to Midland. Like the 5 or 6 years ago, they have different programs. They have phenomenal stuff in schools of OT, PT, speech, ABA in schools, and they work with inclusion for everything. And then they also have it at therapy centers too. So she's got like double the work. Wow. When the insurance will cover it.
You definitely moved to the right community.
And then they also had a cancer program that I could walk with for support that way that I did.
Nicole.
And our church is phenomenal that have helped us along the way with support or like a meal train to help provide meals or all this different stuff.
So I'm a firm believer in that we manifest. It's interesting because sometimes we don't understand how to consciously live our lives. We just let life happen.
Yep.
As we're surviving, you have figured out how to manifest what you need and to call it into your reality. And that's amazing.
I still feel like I'm nowhere near that. And you have all of those moms that are going to soccer and happy and all this different stuff.
You are.
That's the issue that I have, that I still struggle with that. But then, like I said, I turn around and I'm like, girl, no, you've got this. You keep going.
Well, hey, listen, the only one in our heads is us.
Exactly. So I'm like,
we're the only ones
now.
Who are judging. Yes.
Right.
I love that. So okay. You opened up your own baking shop. So after college, you got your business degree.
Yep. I have a bachelor's degree in business. And then when I was a lot younger, again, working full time and going to school, I got certification with professional baking, patisserie, and like a minor in culinary.
Oh, fun.
Because I did that first because I wanted to do awesome art, fun things. And then I went back to school for my bachelor's degree to professionally do it or like open up a storefront. And then, like I said, a month and a half later, you get hit with brain cancer and you're like, well, I can't open a storefront right now, can I?
Wow.
So I've just been baking on the side and making cool stuff. And the more practice I've had, the better I've gotten, where I'm making like 3D chorus cakes that you can turn around and
that is amazing.
All of the cool stuff.
That's amazing.
The last 2 years, I've had the same client return. And the first year I made the USS Enterprise 1701.
I saw that.
From Star Trek.
That was awesome.
And this year I made the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars.
Yes, you
and
did.
It was incredible. I've made anti-gravity cakes, like I made for my mom, where you have a beer can pouring down all over.
Fun.
For Lily, she loves Taco Bell. That's like one of her favorite things ever.
Yeah.
So I made a cheese cup pouring on top of tacos and nachos exploding.
Oh, I love that.
That was fantastic too. Like I've done a bunch of stuff that I'm so in love with, and
you're living your dream.
It's art.
Yes.
It's a release of stress, and it's just it makes you feel positive and loving that you're doing something so creative and just letting it out of your body.
Right.
And I love that. That is a
and you're
therapy.
sharing your gift with others. You're bringing
Yes.
others joy and happiness, and
It's so tasty.
and
it works
therapy
out
at
well.
the same time. Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, it's the best
Exactly.
of both worlds. I mean,
Yes.
oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see. What did you have extras?
Oh, yes.
I want to show everybody what you have.
Okay, so I
so
have chocolate dipped pretzels right here in a Halloween fall theme.
Okay.
I have, these are banana cupcakes.
We're gonna take these out and let everybody see what they
Again,
look like. They're so
fall
cute. So what flavors are these?
That is banana.
Okay.
It's like a banana caramel mixture.
Ooh.
And then I have apple cinnamon cake pops or
these
cakesicles.
are so cute. Okay.
And then I have chocolate dipped Oreos.
Oh my goodness. Oh, these are so cute. So much better than store-bought.
I hope so.
Wow. And you can bake to cater. So if somebody wants gluten-free, if somebody wants sugar-free.
Because I'm a cottage bakery inside of my house, I am not allowed to make stuff that is not like shelf. It has to be shelf stable for like 4 hours. I can't make like cream cheese. I can't make certain things for that. So other restrictions like gluten-free, dairy-free, I cannot guarantee to not be cross-contaminated for working in a house kitchen that's not approved
understood.
by like the Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
That type of thing.
Okay.
But I ask if they will release the information, what kind, how severe. Is it just like practicing vegan or is it like severe celiac disease? Because I cannot make anything when it is like that. But if it's somebody that's choosing to make a choice, like being vegan and stuff, I will provide all the different things needed. I will buy like the plant oils, or if it's like a gluten-free flour they want included, or like a different butter, or non-eggs. If you don't want eggs for being vegan, you can do like applesauce to sub, or different things like that. So I will accommodate as best as possible.
That is so cool.
I actually just had an order and it turned out awesome. And I have to thank another local bakery here. I love her so much for supporting me.
What was it?
The person that supported me.
Yeah.
She is, I have to look it up real quick.
I'm going to take a sip of my tea.
All right.
My Christmas tea, by the way.
I'll show you actually right now so you can see what it is. I love it because it's a similar name to mine too. It's Simple Roots Baking Company.
Oh, nice.
She does a lot of vegan work and she specializes in this stuff.
Oh.
So I had an order for a vegan, 160 vegan strawberries, vegan chocolate dipped strawberries. And I was talking to her back and forth to get different advice because there's a couple bakers that really support each other here, which is phenomenal.
Yes.
Another friend of mine, Little Sis Cakes.
Okay.
She has provided so much support. We love to help each other.
Oh, I love you've got your own little community.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
So when I talked to the Simple Roots Baking Company, she was giving me different advice and different things to help support. And then of course, like normal, my kiddo had to go to the hospital again, sick and hospitalized and problems with their tummy, all that stuff. And I have this order coming up and I'm freaking out and panicking. Like, what am I going to do? How do I get through it? All that stuff. And then I talked and consulted with her and she guided me through it. And she took the work on for her and provided it for me and delivered it. And it was so incredibly beautiful. And I have so much thanks for her and all of her stuff for everything.
Oh, that just warms my soul. Oh.
I love it when we support each other, when we fight for each other and help and advocate for all these different things. And it helps so much. And I love her. She's phenomenal person.
You know, I was reading something the other day and I'll just paraphrase it, but it said something along the lines of, someone was asking a college professor, how do you know civilization? Like what are the first signs of civilization? And she responded with, when an animal breaks its leg, it dies. It can't keep up with the herd. There's the other animals don't take care of it.
Yep.
For humans, it's coming into and it's finding, that a broken leg has been mended, and it's understanding that person was taken care of, that they were fed, that their needs were tended to and mended for their survival.
Mhm.
That is civilization. And it just goes to point, like, we thrive with helping each other.
Yep.
And to hear that, like, that's so cool. I'm so happy
See,
for you.
That's kind of like what we were talking about earlier too, because I was going through a really dark place in my life and having problems, and the people that were supposed to be friends
Mhm.
weren't supporting me. They were
Right.
using me to take them for a ride or buy fast food, whatever, like that type
Yeah.
of person in the community that I was in. And it took to get cancer for me to wake up and be like, you know what? People are not going to step on me anymore. They're not going to do these things. If you can't be like next to me and helping, then goodbye type thing. From cancer that rough. And it took me to get that point. And that's why I also try to share with people, like, don't let something that terrible hit you. Like, you know, you can do it. Let's get through it. All that stuff. And then it brought me to where I am, like being able to move to Midland and meeting amazing friends and
meeting a new partner that
Yes.
that you're sharing your life with.
Yes, very much so.
Girl, I just want to shout from the rooftops. I'm so incredibly excited and happy for you.
Thank you.
Yes, and you did it. You took charge of your life, and you are the one who turned it around.
Yes, Lily actually says that all the time. There's a Christian song out right now. It's called God Turn It Around.
Mm-hmm.
And we love to listen that because I truly, truly believe in the Lord that is, despite what it was, having to go through all these hard times and issues and all this different stuff, he got me through it, through all of it. And he will never leave or forsake you.
That's so wonderful. So beautiful, Nicole.
Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Oh, this did my heart so good.
Yes,
I'm so
I love
glad
to see you.
I came.
It's
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
We need to hang out more often.
We will. It took me a minute to be able to get up here.
I totally understand that.
Yeah. But let's see, we're at 105.50. So if someone wants to get a cake or some goodies, how would they reach you?
Either online on the Facebook. I have a page that way, or if they have any contact information, whether it's my phone number or anything, they can call as well, and we can discuss. And then we can have, if it's like a wedding cake or something, if they would prefer to meet in person, I do tastings, or we can talk and I can draw up, or if they just message me, I can do the same thing, drawing something up and sending back for approval if I can reach what they're looking for, colors, designs. If they want delivery, or if they'd like to pick up, or if it's for a party, like all these different options.
You do everything.
Yep. I try to work with them as best as I can.
Awesome. So what's your website?
The website is on Facebook. I don't have an actual website.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
On Facebook, it is Simply Smile Cakes.
Simply Smile Cakes.
Yes.
I love that.
From everything with Lily, and for all the hard times and all this different stuff, I used to look at her and just tell her to simply smile.
Simply smile.
Even when she was nonverbal, for everything, I'd be like, it's okay, just simply smile.
Aww.
And it stuck with me ever since, and I just wanted that to be the name.
I love that.
Because no matter what, even through hard times, even through anything, just remember, just simply smile and release it, let it go, and all that fun stuff. So
Oh, honey, I gotta give you a big hug.
Always love you to pieces. See, we said the same thing. Like I said, 1P36 moms unite.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, well, thank you so much for, letting me come over and inviting me to come over.
Thank you for coming to hang out in our middle of the forest house.
Yes, yeah. So we were originally supposed to be by the fire. She talked me into being outside. That's why.
Even though you're covered in a coat
sweater
and blanket,
and
I'm
blanket.
Like, this is normal Michigan.
I'm literally feeling my fingers.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I'm still warm. I'm a little
I'm like an icicle.
Yeah.
But thank you.
You live in Michigan too. How is that?
Girl, if it's not 80 degrees, I freeze.
You need to move to Florida then and take me with you. Jamaica. Oh yes, Jamaica too. That's a fantastic place. I love it very much.
Yes, there's wonderful little happenings going on.
Yep.
But I just want to thank you all for joining us today.
Yes.
If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or Nicole, and we'll get those answered for you. And awareness, that's all it's about. Education and embracing each other with love and kindness.
Or if anybody wants to talk, if they feel afraid or upset, or if they're curious about medical stuff, if their kiddos or they are unsure about something, just reach out to us, reach out to me, and I can help try and share and get anybody through stuff.
I love that, Nicole. Thank you so much. Aw. All right, everyone. Have a blessed day.
Yes.
Take care.
Bye.